Hey guys, it's Unfairly back here with some marathon PvP clips. Today, unlike my last video, we're going to be going over some clips that I see on Reddit and have been sent to me in the Discord. I'm going to tell you guys what I like, what I don't like, and I'm going to try to get some experience to the folks who haven't been able to play any of the tests or haven't played as many of the tests as some of us have been fortunate enough to do so. And so we're going to get right into it here with the first clip. So you can hear already the alarm. This is something that's a supply drop, this platform here. It's a random event, I would say. It's something that doesn't spawn in the same place every map, and it doesn't spawn every map. And essentially, it's 4 little supply crates that come down, and you get to loot them, so it's super nice for solos and trios alike. The big thing about it is that it has a huge audio and visual cue. As you can hear that the alarm is already going off, you'll see in a minute how there's essentially a laser light show in the air that is visible to all 4 corners of the map. This is going to attract people, and it's not something you want to stand around. So the first thing I noticed here, 1, 2, 3. All 3 of the trio are just sitting on this like birds on eggs. They're sitting on a flashing alarm, and people are coming from all corners of the map, all long sight range. So if anyone comes, they're going to be getting absolutely shredded here. So let's see how they play this. Gets great damage, and I love the decision to just immediately sidestep. We talked about in the first video how it's essential to know where your cover is when you're going into an engagement, even if you just catch it out of your peripheral. He knows to step left. It's not the most optimal cover, and I think you'll see a bullet comes through here and hits him, but the immediate decision that when he knows he has to reload and he can't engage back, he needs to make this decision, and he does, to sidestep and get a little bit of cover even if it's not covering his hitbox fully. I love the decision making. So as soon as he realizes that the cover is insufficient and he gets cracked, he does get the reload off. He decides to evade and get out. So he can heal up, and he makes the decision that will ultimately keep him in the fight, to ultimately win the fight. You can see the visuals. I like here that he goes in with full clip, full shields. He's ready to push in. He's got his ultimate ability up. But he doesn't decide to go in without his teammates. And I love that he wraps back around in the most protected way possible to get back to them and retake the fight. I also love the fact that they're getting up on high ground. Look at this instant snapshot of the situation updates. They know they have broken off from the initial fight, and now that they're kind of ratting around in somewhere in here. A few of them are missing in action, but we at least have one. Always going to want to maintain height in a vertical game like Marathon. So they take one and they lose one. And I love how they push together. Look at that slide. That slide is immaculate. The mobility in this game is excellent. He is full sprinting and then slides. Any character can do this. Some of the characters have enhanced mobility, but everyone can do this. And the fact that this person knows that 2 people are immediately pushing him, he's expecting this person's hitbox to be up here as well, especially going for a headshot knowing that he's coming around the corner. The fact that he slides in and it allows him to keep his gun out the entire time, he can immediately engage with a lower hitbox. His crosshair needs to be adjusted before the bullets start hitting him, as opposed to this guy sliding in with his gun out prepared, crosshair already on him, taking shots, doing damage. Again, I'm a big fan of the immediate finish. It stops him and his teammate from being tagged for the 3rd person who's missing in action. It severs the information being given. I love them staying together, even if it's close. Playing that hitbox on the corner. And this is just a meme, just bullet sponging, and then he kills, well, his teammate kills him. Love that. Excellent teamwork, and it's kind of shows a memey way of playing off each other's builds. Excellent. Great clip to start us off. So the second one here is a situation you'll find yourself in a lot. 2v1s, 2v3s, 1v3s. Your teammates are down, essentially. Great shots. He's playing long range and playing the angles to his best ability. Playing to your weapon loadout is really, really essential. He has a hit or miss loadout, as I like to call it. It's long range or it's extremely short range with that SMG. So he's playing his strengths, keeping the long range here, and they just keep peeking. But he understands the damage in the fight, and he wants to win the fight. He's aggressive. He wants his teammates back. So he pushes in, and he doesn't push all the way in or gets himself into a situation where he's out in the open and gets 2v1 here. He's pushing up in a safe way. He's taking it one step at a time. And again, I love the head peek. I love the head peek. Not exposing himself, just walking in the middle here. Only his head and the top of this character's shoulders are visible. Meanwhile, he has a beautiful shot, as you'll see here. Use the terrain. There's a lot of slope things, a lot of like kind of hill-like structures. Love it. Immediately go into another angle and in cover. Very cognizant of his hitbox. And using different angles to peek. That guy may have seen him go to the left corner, but instead of re-peeking the left corner 3 different times in a row, he decides to go to the right corner. And he catches this guy still looking over there. Again, cautious. Knows that he has someone down, so he's going to maintain the aggression. Great shields. Great ammo. Those are the criteria you need to have to make a confident push like this, or a non-stupid push. Switches to the close range loadout immediately. Severs the link. No more information or tags. Not going for the res or loot yet. Cautious. Looking around. He doesn't see him at first, but this saves him. Taking that extra second to look around and see what the heck is happening will save your life. People are too greedy for loot and too greedy for revives. And I also just want to point out something else that I do, even in Halo a lot. So he's looking around. He doesn't see this guy at first. He's looking at him, but he isn't really looking at him, if that makes sense. Here, still. So he knows there's someone there and a shot came, but instead of just standing there and aiming in, not knowing where he is, and I think, you know, obviously things have changed with some of this visual intrusion on the HUD with his teammates down body, but the fact that he doesn't 100% know where he is, he's not just going to stand there after someone else took the first shot and try to shoot back and aim in and scope in. He's going to immediately dip back to cover where he can reset. It's a soft reset. Now he has his crosshair placement absolutely perfect. He's ready to take the engagement and ready to try to get the first shot. He's going to reset the start of the fight. Again, shoot and scoot. Shoot and scoot. You shoot in between reloads, get back into the cover. Even in between bursts. However it plays out. I absolutely love that clip.
Sneak up on him, stay high ground, stay high ground.
I love the comms already.
On the move.
Let's go, baby.
Important thing. They're coming into a POI, they're rotating in as aggressors. Always looking at the POI, where are the AI? If there's AI, are they aggressive or are they walking slowly? Are they patrolling, which means there's no one there? If they're walking or running aggressively towards something in the POI, there's a player there, either in the back corner or somewhere that you can't see. The next thing, obviously, there's no AI in this part. So you know that there's something, either people have ran through it and cleared it out, or they're aggressed and occupied somewhere else, which obviously means players again. Another obvious thing is going to be doors. These doors usually aren't open by default. They can be opened by enemies. However, I see that they tend to be closed when I first come into POIs, especially if I spawn there. And also, you kind of see that the context of this video. We don't get it really, but it seems like they're rushing in very aggressively, and I assume that they heard whatever led to this body being here. Oh, this is another sign. You can see these pretty far away in the POIs sometimes if they're just dead out in the middle of the floor. Look around for these two. If you see these, obviously there's someone who's been dead there. So there's combat or people. I like this again, even though he was hyped before, kind of getting a second height again once you get closer and a different angle, just to see what you didn't see before. Always, again, looking for doors. That's an open door here. You really just, and there's no AI, so he knows that there's something that's going on here.
Gotcha.
Another great example of the loot boxes, again, being a huge source of foot traffic. People are always going to be going for loot, or they're always going to be going for the revive. So understanding that when you are around one of the loot boxes or you find one out in the wild, you keep your gun out and you make sure that you're watching around yourself. All right, next clip. Great clip so far. Loving it.
Oh shit.
So here, immediately, he's in a 1v3 at least. Both teammates dead.
Here we go.
I love the trigger discipline, not shooting immediately, making sure, once again, like I covered in my first video, ensuring that you are killing the person as fast as possible. You don't want, God forbid, you get him down to maybe half health and he runs behind the tree, turns around and he tags you. Immediately all three are chasing you. You want to make sure that the information is stopped as soon as possible. Love that. Also love the high ground. Once again, maintaining high ground in a vertical game like Marathon. He catches both of these people looking at their down teammates. They are so unaware, it's unbelievable. But if he went down and immediately went towards the body or took the low ground, this just isn't happening. Like, you're not getting blessed with these types of views. And once again, Bungie, grenade physics, as we covered in the first video, excellent. He's going to make the smart decision. They're going into a ultimate smoke for trying to revive their teammate, just kind of seeing what's going on. They're both void, so they're going to go invisible. It's kind of a scary situation. So having a grenade in this place is throwing it in. It's going to be amazing when he cracks both of them. He's going to get the up on both of them. You can see the visual along with the hit markers that just passed. You can see that you did indeed crack some shields. So in this case, when he's up this amount of health, this ammo, he has one of them down, both of them cracked. He statistically has the green light for me to push in and do whatever he needs to do in this, even if that means going into the smoke. It's a bit of a long shot to be taken with the double barrel, but they were all low from the beginning, so what a great clip. That's excellent decision making. Excellent decision making. Alright, the next clip up here. So again, supply drops already looted. So there's people been here. This guy might be a scavenger just looking to see what he can get. It doesn't look like he has any shields on, so he looks like a scavenger for sure. He gets a bad feeling, so he cloaks. This guy is just like me. I'm a paranoid player, and I play the same champion, Assassin, which was formerly Void. I always go invisible when I go in. I search any of these things. I don't want to be shot in the back. Yeah, it's the worst feeling ever, having your nose caught in loot. So he's making a great decision there. Really good forethought about who could be around him, kind of predicting the future. I don't know if you see this guy up here. That's, again, he didn't give this guy enough time to line up the shot because he's invisible. It's taking him a little bit longer to process where his hitbox is, especially being behind this somewhat.
That's a player.
Excellent. Immediately recognizes the dangers he's in. He doesn't know where that person went because they went invisible, and he doesn't have the shields to be fighting. He has good bully SMGs, which are quite nice at really mid to short range, but really on the shorter end of the range. So he knows that engaging that person at long range, especially in his position, really where there's nothing really around him to crouch behind this, except this. And so he makes the great decision to move. He scoots.
I had a bad feeling.
He decides to not even really re-engage, but
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
either way, even if you wanted to just disengage and come up here, gather your bearings, and then maybe crouch back in and go slow, I'd be down with that too.
A strange figure can be seen
Yep.
running out of the woods at a super fast speed.
That's
And then it
horrifying.
disappears into the darkness.
That's horrifying. I love that champion. It's literally my favorite champion. I'm a one trick, is what I call myself. Alright, next trip. I love the movement. Going vertical as well. You don't need one of the specific mobility champs to do these things. To get up on some of these very skinny kind of high grounds. Always having the high ground, instant snapshot. People don't look up. They kind of, in a game like this, they kind of keep their crosshairs about head to chest level, looking around kind of curiously. People don't really look up too much, I feel like. So being in one of these positions, even if you don't have one of these champions, is very easy. Just kind of working your mobility and understanding where your hitbox is, even if it's a skinny thing like this. And Bungie is really notorious, especially in like the Halo games, for having like skill jumps and sneakies. So like stuff like this, I mean, look at this movement into the game knowledge of this sneaky. And this guy who he kills has no idea that someone's going to come in a window with no ledge that's 4 stories up. I mean, that type of game knowledge is essential when you know it. And really it really encourages you to play with better players, as I found in some of these tests, just so you can absorb their knowledge and apply it to your own gameplay. It really makes you way wholer of a player and way more effective of a player. So here, I like the decision to not shoot him immediately. Again, the trigger discipline, kind of trying to get a little bit of information before he hops himself right into a fight. And the thing is he's gonna kind of look around, but he's never gonna take his crosshair away too far from the individual. He knows that he can do a really soft flick back, and he's not gonna overshoot it or anything like that. Just even getting that little bit of peripheral more information that he can get by doing that and having the discipline to not shoot him at first is essential. I mean, he kind of turns back towards him, so it kind of gets a little scary for him. But he gets some good damage. He doesn't ultimately get the kill, but what he does do... Sorry about that. What he does do is he gets high ground. He keeps high ground. He doesn't immediately jump in and chase after his one-shot companion. And what's he rewarded with? Information, an instant snapshot of the situation. They realize that it's actually a 3v2. It's not a full 3v3. And the person that's looking at him is one-shot. He's trying to heal. And the person who didn't know about our player we're spectating here is running and doesn't even look at these people. He's rewarded with a free kill on the healthiest member of their team by keeping height. And he's just going to mop up that kit that he killed before, or that he damaged before. Excellent decision making. Such good examples in some of these clips. Oh, this is one of my favorites here. This reminds me a lot of one of the clips that I had in my last video, where I kind of was in a really bad situation and I got out of it by just being calm and invisible. So here we have a solo exploring. I would just want to say at first that even though he doesn't have teammates, this is actually a trios lobby. He's soloing in the trios lobby, and you're going to see how this man performs. Kind of exploring, looking around. Everyone's new at this point. He gets shot. Again, immediately making the decision when you don't know 100% where someone is or how to engage them back effectively immediately, you soft reset the fight. You sidestep into your cover, knowing where it is at all times, of course, as we've talked about so many times. And he decides to use this time to use his ability. He knows that healing up half of a base shield is not going to do anything for him against a trio. So he's going to take the decision that allows him to continue to be alive and win the engagement. Maybe not with bullets. We'll see. I love this too. Not panicking. Even while you're invisible, the faster you move, the less invisibility you have. You're still invisible, but you can be seen way easier. So even though there's 3 people barreling down on him, he still maintains a walk, not a sprint. He maintains a walk. And so they do see him at first, but they lose him because he's being patient and effectively utilizing the certain forms of movement in terms of crouching, walking, sprinting. And you're going to see the situational awareness here is insane. his invisibility is gone. It already expired. You can already see the countdown timer. He just has the lasting visual effect for like maybe a millisecond more. As soon as the third person went by, he knows that he's not invisible. He can't be invisible anymore, and he makes the move. The decision making and the timing is so important in a game like this, especially where it's not like Fortnite where you can build or you can do something to immediately make yourself kind of covered. You need to be making these decisions on like a split-second basis, and the way to do that consistently is to just be aware of your situation in the first place. So here we have a trio, full trio, blue shields with one of them, green shields with the other. God, this is so old. All of this looks so much different and better. You guys are going to be so happy.
Danger. Danger.
This is an important one, so I love that. So he was spamming the warning marker. Even if you can't get a live tag like we talked about in my last video where it actually tracks them, shows you their shields, their names, if you know that something's going on and you can't tag the player, literally just put your crosshair on wherever the problem is and spam the button. Annoy your teammates. When you see something that's worth having the whole team know about, you need to get them up to speed in that situation as soon as possible. So do what you need to do to get their attention. I think you're going to see that he does end up marking one here, so you'll get a little example if you didn't see it in the last video. Yep, you can see it how it's tracking them a little bit. Shows shields. They're going to get a kill. They're going to finish the kill. They're going to get another kill. Or help with someone's kill. And so that's an important point actually to see, because when they come up on this, you would think that it's just a traditional 3v3. But when you watch the kill feed, you notice that our player here actually assisted someone on a different team with killing someone over there. So watching the kill feed is always something you want to pay attention to, especially if even in these like close knit kind of lobbies in the new tests where there's not a lot of people really playing, you run into the same people and you know really what good teams are and their names are, and you kind of, if you get a tag on one, you really second guess engaging a fight or really just change up how you're going to be playing it, how slow or how quietly you're going to be playing something, just knowing someone's name. So the information that's posted up here is so important, especially in a fight that you're in. And so again, they think that getting 2 kills that they should push in, but they don't. They kind of hesitate and they wait, and out comes 2 people who are actually new players that were in the original fight. The original fight wasn't a 3v3 between these guys and these guys. There was 2 teams fighting already, and they hesitated to get in, and they were kind of just staying on the side of fights and picking people off. That's the most effective way. You don't want to really just jump into a fight where there's 2 teams fighting, just because there's ultimately times where you can just end up being sandwiched between the 2 original fighting teams, and you're first to die, ironically. So it's great to, whenever you see fights, to kind of move around them and kind of pick off. And when you see the statistical chance that you're going to win the fight where there's multiple people down, or you know you've done big damage, then you can all commit to a push. So I love the hesitation here, because if they were running here, they would have been caught out in the open, and these 2 people would have came up and fried all 3 of them. So I love the decision making. And stuff like this happens all the time too. Stalemates, where you're unsure of really what the resources are, or the situation, or the composition of the team or teams on the other side of this cloud. And so the clip doesn't continue any longer, but what I would do really is, if you're still interested in this, which it looks like they should be, great weapons, clips, sizes, heals, good shields, I mean, I would rotate around and try to get some height and really just kind of encircle them and find the weak point and push in if you're really committed to that fight. But good decision making by these guys. You don't always have to do something. There's always, indecision is a decision. Not making a move is a move. So always know your options. And here's the last clip here. So being cautious because I'm in a 1v2. So he looks like he's playing maybe trios, but he's playing as a solo again. Big respect. So it looks like maybe he had, well, either way, I mean, there's a body here. So he knows, again, high foot traffic on these bodies, there's going to be someone either coming to revive or there's someone coming to loot. So he's keeping a great eye on this. Looking for a pick. And he's got some sort of weapon modification where if he's scoped in for more than 2 seconds, it gets him temporarily invisible. Quite nice. Yep, and there we see it. Foot traffic. We have information. Look at this, protecting the hitbox from damage, switching to the close range weapon, listening. Audio cues are extremely important in this game. Footsteps, doors, just like we talked about in the last video, in the basics. You need to play this game quietly. There it is, he catches him trying to revive.
Connection collapse in 15 minutes.
He kills him immediately to try to sever the information coming through. No tags on him for his teammates to use against him. And I love this. Even though he's invisible, he's slowly walking backwards. He's not giving them any footsteps or audio cues until the end where he's invisible, which obviously he doesn't want to be standing out there, and I would risk the sound for not standing out in the open. But excellent patience. Just knowing what audio you're giving the other team is crucial in controlling it. So he's going to use his ability and go in a little closer. He knows there's 2 bodies over there now. Again, foot traffic on the bodies. So the Void ended up rezzing this guy. But he knew he was one shot, so he ended up winning the fight either way. But again, always ratting those bodies in those body bags. There's going to be foot traffic. People coming to loot, people coming to revive. It's like bees to honey. So that's the last clip that I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you the support on the last video. You guys can send me more clips. I'd be happy to add them to a video or critique them or anything. You can find me in the Discord unfairly. And if you want to connect on X, I am unfairly with 2 Ys. Thank you guys so much for watching.